Hey everyone, James Niggemeyer here. Thank you for tuning back into the YouTube channel. Hope everyone had a fantastic Christmas. Today I want to talk about a bait that is new to me. Just started fishing it this year, 2024. And it's something that I think I'm going to look more at as I move into 2025. And I want to compare it to a standard in the Yamamoto lineup. But this bait is something that I feel like runs under the radar because it doesn't seem like many people talk about it, though I think there's some great times or great applications or great scenarios where you could really capitalize on this particular bait for catching more fish. And that's the Cowboy, the Yamamoto Cowboy. I just don't hear many people talk about it. There's another bait that nobody really talks about in the Yamamoto lineup, and I'll get into that one in another episode. But for today, we want to talk about this Yamamoto Cowboy. And, well, the thing is it's different. I mean, it is, has quite a large profile. And it's somewhat similar to the Flappin' Hog, which is just a phenomenal bait. I love fishing a Yamamoto Flappin' Hog, either on the back of a jig or just flipping and pitching it on a lighter weight, say quarter, 5/16, even 3/8. This thing gets bit, and obviously it's something that is widely received as a great bait in the fishing industry because, man, it's stood the test of time. It's been around for a while. But the Yamamoto Cowboy is something that you just don't hear a lot of people talk about. And their body types are similar. If you can see here, the Flappin' Hog body is quite similar to the Cowboy body, though there are some differences. That Cowboy body is wider, and it really kind of flattens out and has a broader kind of base here. This Flappin' Hog kind of tapers down, and so the top is somewhat similar with this little ball appendage and this little creature type appendage here. But that's where it changes because obviously the Flappin' Hog has these little like crawfish flappers here and then the flappin' type in the back. But that's where this changes. You have the ball appendage, this little flat appendage, and then there's no side kind of crawfish ones because it comes right into the big double tail. And I mean big double tail. What you have to do to kind of unlock the action on this guy is you have to pull it apart from the main leg there. So right there, bam. And then the other one. And the reason why they did that is so that when it's in the package, once you unlock that action, you can see it's ready to catch water. When I fish the Flappin' Hog, I really like it as a glide bait. I love the way that you flip it in there and it has a tendency to glide. And then it doesn't have a lot of action, so it falls faster, even on a lighter weight. And the big thing about the Cowboy is just look at the legs on that. That thing's bigger than I think anything else that Yamamoto offers. You do have the 4-inch Yamakra, but that's a different type of action. These curly tails are just different in the way that they're gonna fall. But what I've learned in my brief experience and time with this bait is you can put a heavier weight with this and still have a tremendous amount of hang time. And what I mean by that is, where on this bait, on the Flappin' Hog, because there's nothing to really slow the bait down, a 3/8 is a pretty fast rate of fall. But then when I have the Cowboy, it's gonna take more like a 1/2 ounce or maybe even a 5/8 to kind of have that same equivalent fall rate as the Flappin' Hog. For me, this bait's killer in scenarios where fish are suspended higher in the water column. Fish are down in the cover or down on the bottom, Flappin' Hog. Higher in the water column, stained water, where the water, say there's more oxygen or there's more warm water up in the higher parts of the water column. I've got a friend who's been quietly catching fish on this thing. He's not wanting to tell anybody about it. He loves the Cowboy. And it's, really given me more time to kind of check this bait out. And that's really spurred this video. The Cowboy is something that I feel like, because it goes under the radar, the true potential of it maybe not realized. I know there's pockets of anglers across the country that love that bait and they're not talking about it. But overall, I feel like if I want to get some hang time with a bait, what I mean by that is slow that fall. Sometimes bass are suspended high on like a brush top or a lay down, any type of cover, reeds, anything like that. And so once it falls past them at a high rate of speed, say with a flapping hog where there's nothing to really slow it down, you can miss those, unless those fish react to it quick or they're nearby, they can miss that bait as it's falling through their strike zone. And then the flapping hog is something that you really can kind of get it to slow down and stay in their strike zone as it's falling, because these guys are going to act like a parachute and keep it high in the water column as it's getting ready to fall towards the bottom. And then if you want to lighten up the weight, you could even get it to hang even more. But also, I feel like this bait's going to be great for imitating bluegill. I feel like this bait's going to be great for your larger profile presentations and for drawing fish to the bait in, say, dirtier water or areas where there's a lot of grass, something that maybe inhibits the fish's vision to come check out a bait or see it from a long ways, something with a lot of vibration, a lot of kick, a lot of movement, and falls slower through the water column is going to give fish just a chance more to zero in, locate that bait, and actually get eaten. I really like this bait. I feel like it could be great when you're like flipping docks and they're right up under the floats. There's a lot of times where fish are higher in the water column and we fish throughout the day and we realize, man, I'm not getting the bites. It's because our baits are falling past them at a high rate of speed, a higher rate of fall than is productive for that given day. So I think it's great to have something like this that's a creature bait that's very similar to my flapping hog, but something that I can slow down on the descent. So those are some insights on the Cowboy. If you're familiar with it, maybe you are familiar with it, but I'd love to hear from you all. Do you like the Cowboy? Do you fish it a bunch? What are some times and methods and presentations that work best for you when you're fishing a Cowboy? When do you reach for it? I hope you guys share that in the comment section so that other anglers, including myself, can give this bait a harder look and actually give it some more playtime, get it off the bench and out in the water, because it's an awesome bait, looks great, but we tend to reach for the tried and true like the flapping hog or a Yamamoto or something like that. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed, please do that. Also, check out my merch, Team Niggemeyer Fishing. I'll put that link in the description below, as well as my website and all my social channels if you're looking at maybe following me in some other platforms. Thanks for tuning in, and until next time, good fishing.